Digambara Digambara Sripada Srivallabha Digambara Sripada Rajam Sharanam Prabadhe. Sripada Srivallabha Charithamrutham, Chapter 16, Part 1. The story of Sriman Narayana. Recollecting the divine history of Sripada and remembering Sripada's name mentally, I continued my journey. My heart felt elevated with joy as I was approaching Kurungada, which was the present place of residence of Sripada. I saw a sugarcane field on the way. The farmer of that field was comfortably seated on a cot. He invited me with humanity. "Sir, please take rest for some time. You can drink sugarcane juice and leave. Please come." I drank the sugarcane juice offered by the farmer. It was very sweet. He was very happy to know that I was going for the darshan of Sripada. The farmer began to narrate. "Sir, my name is Sriman Narayana. My surname is Malladi. Our native place is Malladipuram. In the due course of time, the village's name has changed as Malladi. The native place of Sri Bappanaraya is also Malladipuram and his surname is also Malladi. But he is a Brahmin and I belong to the Kamma caste. We are closely associated with the family of Bappanaraya. When Sripada was 8 years old, we left Malladipuram and migrated to Pitikapuram. The conditions in the native village became adverse. The financial position was very critical. We could not endure the troubles due to our debts. We sold away all fixed and movable properties and reached Pitikapuram only with the clothing we had on us. Sri Bappanaraya treated us well. He gave us food and drink. We wanted to take on lease of the agricultural lands of Sri Bappanaraya and engage in its cultivation. We prayed to Sri Bappanaraya, "It is not desirable for us to eat like parasites. You gave us food and water and saved our lives. It is painful to sell firewood in the same place where we earlier sold flowers. That was the reason why we left our village and came to Pitikapuram. Please have mercy on us and give your land to us for lease. We will be grateful to you. Kindly consider." On that day, Sripada was in the house of Sri Bappanaraya. Sripada remarked that the food available in the house of Sri Bappanaraya is equal to divine prasad. It is not available for those who have benefited of divine grace. It is also impossible for the common man to get the darshan of a great tapasvi like Sri Bappanaraya. You got this good fortune because of the good merit you earned previously. Sri Bappanaraya said, "We have already given our lands to cultivation. They are cultivating our lands in a contradictory to the ethical principles to remove them in the absence of justifiable grounds. Here, have patience for some days. Some other way will be found." Then Sripada said, "Here are a fistful of black grams. Tie them carefully in a cloth and move towards the west. After fulfillment of your desire, throw away the black grams. Can't the Lord of the universe, who provides food to the frog encasted in a rock, arrange food and drink for you?" After taking meals in the house of Sri Bappanaraya, we started our journey westwise with the black grams tied to our apron fringles. On account of the mercy of Sripada, we did not experience any scarcity of food and water. Food was available without asking for it. This was a great wonder. We crossed Andhra state and reached Karnataka state. On the way, we saw a cottage. An old couple was there in that cottage. They also belonged to the Kamma caste. They had only one son. He died of a snake bite. After some days, their son's wife drowned and died while taking bath in Krishna river. Their son did not have any children. There was no one to look after the old couple in their old age. Their relatives wanted to seize their property. They were ingratiating themselves with the old couple with their sweet words. The old pair was in a dilemma as how to partition their properties between those two relatives. We received the hospitality of the old people we were facing some obstacles whenever we wanted to leave the old couple's cottage. At one time, we stubbornly wanted to start on our journey. Suddenly, all the people in the house suffered from vomiting and diarrhea. When we wanted to leave after they recovered, the old couple prevented us. Their affection for us enhanced. It was not liked by the relatives. They were feeling that we were staying in the house to snatch their properties. The black grams tied in the cloth began to give unbearable foul smell. We threw away the black grams given by Sripada, thinking that they were no longer required. We decided to stay there only, come what may. The relatives wanted the property of the old couple but were not interested in them. As we also belonged to their caste, the old couple determined to adopt us and hand over the property to us. The relatives were observing these matters. It was very painful for them, so they arrived at some agreement among themselves. They wanted to divide the property equally among themselves and drive us away from the house in some way or the other. There was an astrologer who was well known to the relatives. They offered secret inducement to him and brought him to the house of the old couple. The astrologer told, "Your guests are of utmost misfortune. Wherever they reside, fortune will not like to stay in that house. Not only that, all sorts of poverty will grip them. Send them away from the house as early as possible." For that, the aged husband and wife said, "If they have a misfortune in their horoscope, as suggested by you, some measures of relief must surely be mentioned in the scriptures. We request you to conduct pujas and rituals to nullify their misfortunes and offer all auspicious fortunes. We are prepared for any amount of expenditure. The entire world moves under the control of devas, and the devas are under control of mantras. Such mantras are under control of Brahmins. Therefore, virtuous Brahmins like you are devas on the earth for us. Kindly honor our request." The astrologer had no other option except to make arrangements for the worship. "My dear Shankar, but rain is required for the paddy crops. Sacrifice gives rain. Sacrifice has come from rituals. The Veda is the source of all ritualistic activities. Men should adore the devas by way of sacrifice. The devas should give all prosperity to them. In this way, there are mutual dependence between the humans and the celestials. The sacrifices are of 5 kinds, namely Devayagna, Manushayagna, Bhutagna, Pitruyagna and Brahmagna. The Leelas of Sripada are very strange. The sacrifice performed by the virtuous Brahmins with monetary aid from the old couple to achieve the auspicious blessings. In fact, there was no application in the horoscope. By the kindness of the old couple, we had the good fortune to witness the most sacred sacrifice. Indra and the celestials are indirect gods. The priests who preside over and conduct the yajna are in fact the direct gods. The power of mantras, the small offerings made through the fire to Indra and other devas, will multiply to satisfy the various gods. Mother Earth is supported by these 7. Mother Earth is supported by the cows, Vedas, Brahmins, pious wives, truthful people, people who do not seek profit, and the charitable people. The bull is very necessary for cultivation. Mother cow gives useful materials like ghee, milk, curds, and helps human both in the worldly existence and in gaining access to the other worlds through sacrifices and rituals. Indra and all the gods accept offerings made during the sacrifice with Vedic mantras. The Vedas are the origin for all dharmas. Therefore, the earth is also supported by the Vedas. Brahmins make the people perform virtuous acts like sacred sacrifices. So the earth is also supported by the Brahmins. Virtuous wives protect the dharma from getting disturbed through the efficiency of their virtuousness. Truthful people protect the earth by their adherence to the truth with their truthful resolve. People who do not seek profits those who forsake greediness distribute the sweetness in the cooperative life to many others. Charitable persons, with the earthly wealth and the wealth of merit of their other words, distresses downtrodden and unfortunate people. Owing to our visit to a great virtuous personage like Sri Bappanaraya Sripada, who is the embodiment of all the sacrifices, used us as an instrument. He indirectly completed all the process of the sacrifice and blessed us with good fortune. The way in which Sripada rescued his devotees. The sacrifice was completed without any obstacle. The old couple decided that they would be their heirs. Their relatives did not like the way things were happening. In one of our fields, there was a garden of chilies. There were palm trees on the four borders of that garden. Those palm trees were given to Gaudas for drawing toddy from the trees. The relatives tried to collect the harvest of the chilies in a crooked way and attempted to take them out. Bags full of ripe chilies were plucked. They kept these bags on the bullock carts and were ready to move. I went into the field at that time. I was astonished to see the scene. I was alone and they were 10. Surprisingly, I saw a bear drinking toddy from one of the palm trees. The bear jumped down from the tree. All were afraid of the bear. With its sharp claws, it had the ability to tear the muscles of men. Blood could also be poisoned if the claws pierced their body. The bear indirectly came to the bullock cart. The relatives ran out of terrible fear. I was very afraid and began to chant the name of Sripada. That horrible bear turned very polite. It was calm and was clapping its hands whenever I uttered the name of Sripada. I reached home in the cart drawn by 2 bullocks, full with bags of ripe chilies. The bear walked in the front of the cart. This caused a great wonder not only to the old couple in the house but also to all the neighbors. We chanted the name of Sripada all throughout the night. The bear was also peacefully and rhythmically beating its hand to the tune with the music during the chanting of the name of Sripada. The bear also received the prasad of Sripada very happily. From that day onwards, the bear was moving like our family member. It showed a great love towards our family. It also created terror to those who troubled our family. The bear guarded our fields. We were rid of fear from thieves. Decisions relating to the sportive play of Lord Datta and chanting of the name of Sripada were going on uninterruptedly in our house daily. Sriman Narayana thus concluded. When Sriman Narayana was giving these details, the bear entered the sugarcane field. I was sweating profusely out of fear, but it was exhibiting utmost fearlessness towards me. When I started chanting of Sripada, then it began to dance in joy. Sriman Narayana resumed by saying, once a tantric came to our neighboring village. He obtained some powers by the means of some evil practices. He collected lots of money from those who came under his influence. The relatives of the old couple took his help. That tantric came to our village. He applied his tantra on the bear. The strength of the bear was completely lost. The relatives were overjoyed. The bear slept motionless, but by one yogic exercise, the tantric identified closely with the consciousness of the bear, and by another yogic exercise, he attracted all its power to him. Sripada saves his devotees from the past karmas. The playful pastime of Sripada are unimaginable. It is a laborious matter to search connection between cause and the effect. Action will never occur without a cause. Indra causes terrifying rains according to his dharma. Sri Krishna uplifted Govardhan hillock in accordance with his dharma and fulfilled his Gopala Dharma. In the same fashion, Sripada also allowed his yogic powers of the Tantric to work. The bear was subjected to the torture of the yogic powers of the Tantric. However, some elements of merit in the bear turned it into a devotee of Sripada. It cried silently, "Sripada will surely hear the lamentations of living beings. While dispensing the results of one's past karma, he will demolish the intensity of the result of the sinful action with his grace." Discloses about Datta Charitra and the devotional singing of the name of Sripada Srivallabha went on regularly in our house. There were no doubts in our mind of the devotees assembled there. Some of them were absent-minded, but some other sincere devotees had unshakable devotion on Sripada. A miracle took place when the devotional chanting of Sripada's name was going on. The bear, which lied down motionless like a dead one, began to regain consciousness. It recovered all its previous strength. It jumped out of joy when the devotees sang the name of Sripada. The yoga of Sri Dattatreya is far superior to all the yogic practices of the past. The soul consciousness of the bear was transferred from the bear into the Tantric. The soul consciousness of the Tantric was transformed from the human nature into a nature of a bear. The nature of the bear was extinguished and the human nature was taking shape in the bear. Though he was in a human form, since his nature had changed into a nature of a bear, the Tantric started behaving like a bear. His own followers tied him with ropes and left him in the forest. The bear started speaking in human language. "Sir, I was a money lender in my previous birth. I used to collect exorbitant interest and trouble people very much. As a result, now I am born as a bear. On account of my past meritorious virtue, I received the grace of Sripada. Please note that Sripada is verily Lord Datta himself. I am going to get a noble birth due to his grace." The Tantric did many sinful acts. In addition, he wanted to harm a devotee of Sripada and a dumb creature like me. Sripada punished him for that. Both protection and punishment dwell in Sripada. He is always gracious towards those who adore him with steadfast devotion. He punishes those who abuse devotees and those who create difficulties for test. After undergoing the punishment, they gradually transform to be devotees. Keep on chanting the name of Sripada. I am going to obtain the noble status. All were wonderstruck with this and continued to devotedly sing the name of Sripada. The bear was silent and remained in trance. While chanting the name of Sripada was going on, 3 cobras came from somewhere. They were also in trance as the chanting of Sripada continued. The bear gave up its life peacefully, and the 3 cobras circumambulated the bear thrice. No one could understand where from the snakes came and what for they came. We conducted funeral rites to the bear as was done for humans. The cobras stayed in the house for the whole day. Sripada's name was our sole refuge all the times in all the states. We were remembering the sacred name. The cobras drank milk offered to Sripada. The cobras hissed if the women in their menstrual period or anyone suffering from foul defilement were in that group. Some people were afraid to visit our house because the cobras were in the house. The devotees of Datta used to come freely to our house. Those cobras were observed in devotion. Whenever they heard the name of Datta or Sripada, the relatives of the old couple unlawfully occupied some space in their house. The village elders designated that as a disputed one. Permission was also granted to those relatives to grow vegetables in that place till the final decree was declared. The relatives influenced the village elders with an intensity of money. Because of this, the final judgments were not delivered. The judgment was being adjourned on flimsy grounds. There was a snake pit in the disputed land in the past. People used to pour milk into that snake pit during the Naga Chaturthi. As there were no snakes in the pit, people used to pour milk there without any fear. Those who were offering milk used to pray, Lord Naga, grant us the fortune of your appearance. Fulfill our desires. All those who prayed like this knew fully well that there were no cobras in there. Sripada is very skillful. Nag Chaturthi day was very near. This time, those who used to pour milk in the snake pit and pray were hesitating to go near the snake pit. Eventually, Nag Chaturthi day approached. How strange it is this world. They prayed, Lord Naga, kindly appear. However, when Lord Naga appears, they ran away with fear. When we, along with the old couple, placed the milk offered to Sripada near the snake pit and prayed, the three cobras appeared and drank the milk and went back into the snake pit. Except us, no one came to pour the milk into the snake pit that year. We shall continue from here in the next episode. Om Sai Ram.